What's up, guys? Welcome back to Frank Prince's Play Call, our Wednesday edition. Br- Bree is working like a good person. Nikki and Juna on. Nikki, how you feeling today? I like that shirt. God is dope. I need to get one of those.
Blessed and highly favored.
Oh, look at TK. What's up, brother? How you doing? Why you moved in when TK's bald head was in the
No, he
Yo, for
went to
real.
go plug the phone in and it almost fell. That's why. Is it on?
Hey y'all, she didn't want to show TK. But what's up? Hey, June, what's good, baby? Hey, I saw you earlier today.
You saw it. Watch the phone.
Hey, baby. Hey, what's up, TK? I missed
Where
you.
he
Come
at?
back on here.
Wait, where's he at? Hey, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Hey, maybe
he
you can help.
can't.
You can help Nikki out with some of her
What's
stats.
Hey,
going
there
He
he
on?
is
don't
right
need to
there.
What's
help me
up?
out.
How you doing?
What's
What's up,
up? Hey,
people? How
maybe you
y'all
can help
doing?
Nikki out. Maybe you
We
can help
on
me
a
out.
podcast.
No, I mean,
Stop.
I
I left
mean,
my water
they
outside.
they asked for me to come and say hi.
You
Who?
know what
Because
I
the
mean?
I
people
did.
didn't
I did.
ask for
Me,
you.
Julio,
Yeah,
and
me.
Frank did. June and
Yeah,
Frank
we
did.
did.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Frank did. June
Uh,
did. How y'all doing,
you
fam?
know,
Great,
she
bro.
got outvoted. She got outvoted. So that's why you're on there right now.
Thank you very much. Appreciate y'all. Well, y'all enjoy your podcast,
Thank
okay?
you. Bye
All right, then, bro.
bye.
Hey, she might need your help, brother. She might need your help.
Don't worry about me.
Oh, I know. I already called my therapist. I gave her the number. Don't worry about it.
Well, like we said, we're gonna bring you 2 episodes a week. This is our first one of the week on Wednesday. Next one Saturday. Let me look at these notes because we be updating these joints. All right. So with the lack of news in the NFL today, because there ain't much going on really. I want to ask you guys, Nikki first. Who's your top 5 quarterbacks in the league right now?
In the league. All right. So y'all know who my number one. Who y'all think my number one is?
Lamar
Finally, you're
Jackson.
giving Jalen some damn praise.
No,
Lamar
you would have
Jackson.
lost that point, Jill,
Lamar.
and Frank would have got
Yeah,
the
Lamar.
point.
I already know.
Wow.
I already know.
I love Lamar, so I can't take that away from Lamar. I've always liked Lamar. Y'all already know that. Um, you got to give respect in no particular order except the Lamar. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Lamar's
Uh,
number one. That's it. Hands down.
for me,
Okay,
I
no,
like
that's fair.
Lamar.
That's
I
fair.
like Lamar. You gotta give respect where respect is due. Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
Wow.
And that's what I said. It's no particular order.
No,
I
I'm gonna
didn't
write
say
this
nothing.
down. I'm gonna write this down because this is important. No, it's got to be an order. It's got to be an order.
Oh no, I don't have a particular order.
Come on.
I'm just telling you my top five.
Okay, Nikki, hold on.
Right?
Right, Lamar.
Pat, CJ.
Okay, CJ. Okay,
Unfortunately, fortunately, even though I might give this team a hard time, I like Joe.
okay, Joe.
And then unfortunately, I gotta give respect where respect is due. It's hard. I can't even say just five, but I have to put Jalen in there.
Okay,
But he's my number five.
all
He's
right.
not my number five. It was in no particular order.
No,
I
no.
I actually like Josh.
I said top 5. So
Oh, okay.
if
So I gotta take somebody out.
yeah,
Jada Mike.
Oh, you waiting for me?
oh no, not yet.
Oh,
She's June.
did she say dynamite?
Wait, this Nikki said. I said you gotta do top 5. I don't understand what you. Okay, America. We working with Nikki. Nikki, up until we started recording, she only watched the Jags, right? And when we started recording, she was only watching football about 3 years. So you
I
got
watched it more than 3 years.
you got to
Don't
give her
listen.
grace. You got to give
Oh,
her
by the
grace.
time we started. Okay,
That's
okay.
exactly what I said. By the time we started, 3 years. So give her some grace. She has been forced to look outside of the Jags until we started recording the play call.
That's
So
not true.
the homework is top 5.
It's
Yeah.
kind of hard because I want to, it's hard because I want to take CJ off, but I think CJ had, whatever, and put Josh Allen. But
No, we can go with yours. We can go with yours. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come back to it because we all gonna give our top fives, and we're gonna ask why.
Yeah.
All right, Julio, June, your top five. Let's go.
No particular order.
No, it is an order. You didn't put a particular order.
Yeah, I didn't put a particular order. Okay.
1 through 5. Number 1 being the greatest quarterback is playing right now. 5 being the number 5 quarterback that's playing right now. So that's what that's supposed to be.
For y'all, I didn't have mine in no order.
So we're gonna give instruction. We're gonna create a podcast, a football podcast instruction 0001.1. We're gonna add the specific in it, and then we're gonna build it from there. Okay. All right, June, go ahead. What's your top 5 in order?
Jalen.
Okay.
Hurts, Patty Mahomes.
Okay.
Lamar Jackson.
Uh-huh.
Joe Bizzo.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Last but not least, Baker Mayfield.
Wow.
no.
Baker.
Nah. But we got similar.
Okay. What? No. Okay.
The only thing that we didn't have that was the same was he got Baker. I had CJ.
He put in order, Nick.
Oh yeah, I didn't put mine in order. But okay, go ahead.
Put in order. All right. For me, it's gonna be Pat,
Good job.
Josh,
Yeah, Josh need to be. That's
Lamar,
okay.
Jalen,
Okay.
Joe.
Listen, we all would have had the same person.
No, now I'm gonna go back. Nikki, so you had Lamar, Patrick, CJ, Joe, Jalen, no specific order, which is crazy to me. Why? Now I'm gonna pick specifically. Why do we have CJ in there and not Josh Allen?
So there's really no answer because I really was going to remove CJ to put Josh Allen, and we in America, you heard me say that. So I can't give you an answer for that because I really was going to remove him off.
Okay, so you want to put Josh in there? Okay, cool.
I said that before. I did.
No. I'm just making sure because initially you said CJ. That's normally your first.
Well, I said CJ off the dome, but by the time I got to, I was like, "Oh, Josh needs to be there." And you was like, "Take one out," and I said that I would really remove CJ to put Josh.
Okay.
So
we going one line initial.
All right.
You got a middle name? I don't know your middle name. So it's OA. Right there. One line is OA.
O-N-A.
And we're gonna put Josh. We know your first name and your last name. I know how to spell it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Come on. Stay.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, June, somebody trying to fake the funk. You know what I'm saying?
Stay. You know what I'm saying? Podcast.
Listen. So,
all right. So
June,
you don't got no question for me? Okay. Besides that one?
No, I mean, because you didn't have in specific order.
Yeah, but I could tell you why. Because originally I said no specific order outside of my number 1.
Okay.
Right? And I could tell you why Lamar is my number 1.
Let me hear why was number 1.
Because I like the way he plays. I like his versatility. I like and some of the stuff is a little personal. I like the respect that his players has given and entrusted in him. I just like the way Lamar moves. I like Lamar's style of play.
Okay.
I wish and I said this before, I wish even his style of running or whatever, because I think at one point, which it's not terrible, but he was trying to prove people wrong that he can still be as elite just throwing the ball. But what I liked about him was his style worked, and it worked with fireworks. You know what I'm saying? So I like that about Lamar.
Okay. All right. That's fair enough. June, your top 5. Why you rank like that?
I'll tell you,
well, he on Jalen ass.
I'm gonna be really honest with you. So Hurts, 2-time Super Bowl Patty Killer. He's beat he's 14-1 against the AFC. The only person he's lost to the AFC is Zach Wilson. Crazy, but true.
In the regular season.
In regular season.
Okay.
Right. He has a Super Bowl over everybody on here. That's legit. And all he's done is win his way, not the fans' way, not the critics' way, not the analysts' way. He's playing his game, and the team is built around built around him. I read a meme the other day that said, what's crazy? The Eagles are a super team when they're compared against others, but they're not a super team when you talk about Jalen Hurts as an individual. And
I think that's fact.
But and you wanted to know why I put him that way?
Yeah, your order. Yeah.
And honestly, when I thought about it, I think Hurts outplayed Mahomes in both Super Bowls.
He did.
So that's why I put him there, and he has that Super Bowl over him. And again, Hurts has the Super Bowl over everybody there. Patty Mahomes is because of his success in the league. Lamar and Joe. Honestly, I would have flip-flopped both of those because Joe made it and he didn't to the Super Bowl. So I'll flip-flop those. However, they're both to me pretty equal. The only difference is Lamar is a little bit more athletic than Joe is. And then
it was hurt, and
then Baker, in my opinion, I didn't even put Josh Allen in here because Josh Allen has been a stagnant quarterback. I don't think he's gotten any better. I don't think he's gotten any worse. But Baker has gotten better given the positions that he's had. And the only reason that Baker is not named a Joe, Lamar, or Josh is because his name is Baker Mayfield. That's the only reason that he's not named with those elite quarterbacks. He's done nothing but take Tampa from here to there. I mean, think about it. But that's my top 5 right there.
Okay. All right. We're gonna get back to it. We're gonna analyze. We're gonna give each other time to question those moves, right? For me, I go Patty. He got the most rings out of all of them. I went Josh above him because I feel Josh is a phenomenal talent. Lamar and Josh, you can flip-flop, to be honest. But Lamar's 2-time MVP, so I got to give him credit. Jalen, because he's won a Super Bowl. He's been a 2-1-1, actually beat Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. And Joe, because he won the Super Bowl, but not really that. Joe, to me, is probably the best quarterback out of these 5, right? When I say quarterback at the position, we're not talking about running the ball. We're not talking about scrambling, pocket passing, stick in there, get the ball downfield, and throw the ball. For me, what I like in a quarterback is that pass first, run second. I heard a stat today. When Joe Burrow went to the Super Bowl, his defense was 17th in the league. That's crazy. Last year didn't work out for him like he should have, but that wasn't his fault. He threw for 5,000 yards. But I give Patrick his due right because he got the most rings. I give Jalen his due right because he won a ring. Whether he did it his way, no way, with talent, he did it. He got a ring. So that's why. And it's going to tie into the next topic, but we're going to go. Now, Nikki, I'm going to give you a chance to come back and ask questions or, shut it down.
So I don't think. I think June, we pretty much have all the same besides the Baker, right? And even if, let's just say I didn't put Josh. So the difference would have been Josh, Baker, and CJ, right? The only question I have, not more shut down, but it really is shut down, is June said, I haven't seen Josh improve. I think that's a fuck lie. He did improve. Last year, I think Josh, that to me, he played well. I mean, there was some games, and I can't even tell you specific now, but at the time, I just knew they weren't going to win, or I counted them out before the game even started, and I thought they played well. At one point, when Stefan left, I was like, shoot, because that was his go-to guy. When he left, I was like, damn, Josh definitely about to decline, and he didn't. I don't want to take away from Baker's. Ooh, hold on. Sorry. Amber Alert. I don't want to take away from Baker, but to say that I think for Baker, which might be kind of unfortunate, is because I thought Baker was great with the what's to call it? I thought the Browns did Baker dirty. With the Browns? Yeah. I thought they did him dirty. I thought Baker flourished at the Browns. You know what I'm saying? I thought he was the Browns. Shit, he was on every commercial. You saw Browns, you saw Baker. Is that what it was? Yeah, right? For Tampa, I think Tampa. They weren't a bad team without Baker. Shit, they had time before, time came and won them a freaking Super Bowl. You get what I'm saying? They had elite, or they had pieces to make Tampa a decent team. So to say that you say Baker elevated or improved Tampa, I think that's kind of a slap in the face to everybody else. But I would say I would say that, and not to say Josh improved the Bills, but with having less, not having his go-to, I think Josh arose to the calling. So I think it's a little slight shade on that one. But that was all I really had for June.
June?
Josh does the same thing every year. He just can't get over the hump.
He did.
When are you? When
he got further than Baker.
He got further than Baker. I mean, they both exited the playoffs in the same amount of time. Well, I'm willing to bet that next year that Josh Allen would get eliminated again in the playoffs. I'm willing to bet that.
Well, should bet the same for Baker.
I'm willing to bet that Baker will probably go another spot in the playoff. Mind you, the Bucks, they haven't been getting mollywopped. But I could guarantee that the Bills won't make it to the championship again. These are things that are written on the wall. And these are things that I'm not saying that Josh is trash. All I'm saying that he's very stagnant in the success that he's been on the pedestal that he's been put on. They put him every year. Oh, Josh this, Josh that. As a matter of fact, he got that MVP when realistically Joe Burrow should have got the MVP last year if you think about it, given the team that he's had. So I'm not going to take that from him, but if we're really going to peel the onion a little bit, then we're going to peel that onion and we're going to give that credit to Joe Burrow, because given what Joe Burrow had, Josh Allen.
That's the same argument I'm having for
had
Josh.
Every year, though. But Josh had the same thing every year, and what has he done?
Yeah, but the last year he didn't have it, but Baker did.
He's played against his he's played against his what do you call it, man? What do you call it? The Superman thing?
The arch
kryptonite.
Yeah.
He's played against his kryptonite year after year after year after year. And that's really what's happened with Josh. I'm not saying he's trash, but all I'm saying that he's guaranteed not to win the Super Bowl.
I have an issue with that, right? And I'm gonna be honest with you. And I'm a Baker fan as much as I'm a Josh Allen fan. This has nothing to do with Burrow or anything like that. This is all about, let's look at what they did.
Josh and Baker.
So let's go Baker. Baker took the Browns to the playoffs for the first time, and actually won a playoff game, right? Against the Steelers. Then he had to deal with coaches getting fired, OCs getting fired, no consistency at the head coaching position and the offense coordinator position. Where Josh has improved over the years because he went from turning over the ball to not turning over the ball. He had Dable. Before Dable went to the Giants, he changed Josh Allen turnover. He improved when he got Stephon Diggs. So did Stephon Diggs. He improved when he got Josh Allen. Now, where I'll give Nicky the nod in this, June, is that last year when he lost his number one wide receiver, he put that team
Come on. That's what I'm
was
saying.
competitive. Now, where I go with Baker as well is that look what Baker can do when he's given a team, when he's given an organization that believes him in consistency. So I think that they both improved in different ways. Where I would go Josh over Baker is because last year he didn't have name me a wide receiver that was a standout wide receiver.
Come on. But Baker had that.
Baker had Chris Godwin and Mike Evans.
He had that. That's
Chris
the point
Godwin
I'm
that tore
making.
his ACL, and then
We
Evans
was at the game.
that was
June,
hurt.
come on, that wasn't week one.
What do you
That
mean?
wasn't week one, June.
Bro,
That was in October, my G. We went to the game in October.
And you can't even compare what Brady left them to when Brady was there. Imagine all this 1 year
Yes, you
contract.
can, because Brady won a
1 year,
ring, and
all those 1 year
Baker has
contracts
not.
of those players left when Brady left. Let's think about it.
No,
the only people that were there was
no.
long term.
Okay, let me ask you a question,
long-term
No.
receivers.
Real shit. If you had to pick between the Buffalo Bills receiving core or the Tampa Bay's receiving core, who you picking?
They're healthy when they're healthy.
Oh no! Come on, bro.
Period.
Next.
They starting the game healthy. They're starting the game. If you had to line up, if I said June, I need you to come play one season, beginning of September. Team A has this. Team B has Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, all these different tight ends, a decent run game, and a
The
good
Jags.
defense. Whatever, man. Look, see, he playing.
Nah. When you're putting it that way, but we're talking about.
Yeah, but that is the way.
You said improvement.
But yeah, you said improvement.
Bro, improvement. Who's had the same head coach for like their whole career?
Josh Allen has.
Okay, and who's played for the same team their whole career?
Josh Allen. But
who has?
And that's why we said he has to improve.
Who has to face Patrick Mahomes every year?
And
Allen.
Hey, he's faced Patrick Mahomes every year, and who can't get over that hump?
No, that's not true.
I mean,
he played better. But see, when you use the words improvements,
100%.
it's the words matter.
No,
right?
I didn't say he.
You said he was stagnant. You said he was stagnant.
He didn't go up, and he didn't go down.
Yeah, but you said Baker has improved. But
Baker has improved.
Well, all right. That was just my thing. That's it.
Okay. So to go back, right? You have Baker over Josh. That's wild to me. That is. It's bananas.
Bonkers.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I like Baker though, so I'm not gonna go too in. I didn't put nobody else. I gave Jalen his props because he won a Super Bowl, right? But June, someone can argue, because I've heard it argued. That's why I brought this up. That Jalen Hurts has arguably the best receiving core.
Bro, I'm waiting till you said the best one of the good.
No. Yeah. That's why I put it first and I'm going second. I know what I'm doing here, people. I know what I'm doing here, right? So with that being said, the next topic is, what are your top 5 teams? And it was technically, when I saw the take, it was tight ends, wide receivers, and quarterback.
Yeah, but
and I said, I'm not going to do that. Yeah. I'm going to go all around. So instead of being specific by position, let's do it offense, defense, and coaching. Right? So I'm going to start with June. June, what's your top 5 teams going into
the NFL?
Right
offense,
defense, and coaching.
Oh, hold on. Top 5 teams, defense only.
No. All around. You know how you play Madden? You used to have a rating for offense, a rating for defense. Overall, who is your top 5 teams?
And I'll tell you right now.
Because you went first last time, Nikki.
That's fair.
Hey, Eagles.
Okay.
The Chiefs.
Okay.
You know what? On this one right here, and this is going into this season coming up?
Yeah. And then last season.
Hey, so Eagles. Ravens.
Okay, so you took the Chiefs out. Ravens.
Chiefs.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it order? Okay.
Yeah, it's always
Um,
Nikki.
I don't got an order.
That's why I said TK need to help you out because there's no way in hell that you didn't understand top 5 in order. Like,
hey, Texans.
okay,
That's a good one. I have them for my defense.
and what else?
And the fifth one, I probably have to go with the Lions.
Good job.
Okay, all right, we're gonna get back to it, Nikki.
In no particular order.
No, see, this is yo.
Okay, let me just state them and then I'll put them in order.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So Baltimore Ravens. Detroit Lions.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I'm doing offense, right?
No, it's all around, all around. If you looked at a team like right now, if I looked at a team, I'm looking at offense, defense, and coaching. How do I rank them? For me, Eagles number 1. That's it. Because their offense has gotten better. It hasn't changed. It's still the same. The defense is good to go. The coaching has changed. So I'm gonna put them number 1. So go ahead.
So I'm sorry. I did mine's different. I had what was my favorite offense, what is my favorite defense. And like I have Tom Coughlin as a coach, but I don't like the Steelers.
Okay.
So I didn't put it as a deal package.
That's why I
So
said, what are your top 5 teams based off
okay,
offense, defense?
yeah, but I based so my top 5 offense, I have that. My top 5 defense, I had. But okay, all right. So regardless, I had Baltimore for
Okay.
offense and defense, right?
Okay.
I had them. The thing is, I liked Detroit's, but okay. So all right, come on, Nikki. So I'm going Baltimore.
Uh-huh.
Uh, I'm going Detroit.
Okay.
I this is hard because I have to go Chiefs because I like their coach and their offense is okay to me. So whatever, the Chiefs.
Okay.
Um, the problem with the Eagles is I don't like their coach.
They just won the Super Bowl.
I don't give a fuck. I don't like their coach.
Okay. So who you going with then?
The stupid ass Eagles.
Okay. And who else?
Hey, put some respect on the Super Bowl winning champions over here.
See, it sucks because for offense, you know what? Fuck it. The Houston Texans.
Okay.
It sucks because I only went Houston for their defense. But come on.
That's fine. I'm going Eagles 1. Lions 2. Chiefs 3. Commanders 4.
Oh, that was a good one.
Ravens 5.
Oh yeah, the Braves gotta be there. I don't even give a fuck that you put them 5.
And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna go start first, and then
Damn, the
go
Commanders
Nikki.
was a good one.
I'm gonna go Nikki and June. Eagles because they haven't lost much. They still got their coaches. They still got they got the pieces they need. Saquon, AJ,
Jalen.
Devontae Smith, Jalen, everything's there. The offensive line is the best line in the league. Their defense is turned out to be the best defense in the league. Lions because they once they get all remember the only reason they lost last year is they had nobody else. They ran out of players. They had the water boy out there trying to block. So they're gonna come back. Now, I could have dropped them a few pegs because they lost their OC and their DC, so we don't know what's gonna happen. But I'm gonna go with the fact that old boy's still there, the head coach is still there, Dan Campbell, and he got that fire to him. They follow him. Chiefs, you can't go wrong. You got Andy Reid, Steve Spagnuolo, Patrick Mahomes. I'm not even gonna say Travis Kelce because I don't think he's the greatest tight end ever, but they do have Chris Jones at defense still there. So that the anchor of the team is still there. Commanders, they added Debo. They're believers, and they got momentum going into the next season. And Ravens, Hopkins added. You still got Derrick Henry. You still got Lamar Jackson. That defense, they drafted well, and they still got the head coach. So that's my take. Nikki, why did you go your way? June, I go after that.
All right. So um the truth is I like the Ravens. Like I like Lamar. I like everything about the Ravens. So if that would have been, I like their offense, I like their defense, and I like their head coach. I think all three sides, or not sides, but all three work very well together. It's a good machine. Detroit. Um, if we want to talk about improvement, that's a team that has shown consistent improvement in the last 2-3 years. Uh, so respect is they earned it. They earned to say that they need to be on this list. The Chiefs are the Chiefs, so it is what it is. I like their coach. Um, he's had success. It is what it is. Eagles, Eagles. Really, if you want me to put in order, should be number one. The only thing is I don't like their head coach. Right, but we're talking about success of the team. Um, by far, not only do they have all the pieces they need on the offensive side, these are staple pieces, right? Um, and not only because we know what they've done in the past and previous, I'm about to say previous commands and previous teams, uh, but they showed it together as a current team. So, and what was my last one?
You had Texans.
I think the Texans are up and coming, and yeah, I mean, I had to pick a team. I didn't have to, but if I had to pick a team within my division, I think they're the most promising team that have shown progression, offensive, defensive, and their head coaches. He doing what he needs to do. But without thinking about all of that, the Commanders definitely should have been on my list. I think if I would have added the Commanders, I would have had to take off the Texans. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
But the Commanders is the same thing what I said about the Texans, like up and coming, they've shown improvement since CJ been there. Is the same thing you can say about the Commanders. They got a new head coach last year, and look what they were a game away from me going to the game, or 2 games away from going to the game. The beginning in 2023 or whatever year it was, 2024, I would have never said the Commanders was going to make it as far as they made it. So you got to give respect where respect is due.
Okay. June, what's your reasoning? Or you want to question any one of ours, you can say.
No, he got to say his reasoning, bro.
Mm-hmm.
They're all contenders. However, the Eagles are. I'm not saying it because they're the Eagles, but they are, reigning champions.
I hate that because they're reigning champions, but okay.
The Ravens, because they're there, and then they did add a few key pieces, and they still have the maturity of their team, right? All their key players. The Chiefs, just because of, again, their reigning success. The Texans, because of their key additions, and they should have a healthy wide receiver core. I think that injured receiver core is what damaged. What's his name? CJ
Stroud, yeah.
Stroud.
CJ.
That's what messed up his whole routine, and he didn't have a bad season, but I think if he would have had those healthy receivers, I think that just threw him all off. And then last but not least, the Lions. Just because of, again, their reigning success, and they still made it where they made it with half of their team being injured. Mm-hmm. So I think this year they'll be a heavy competitor going into the season.
Yeah, shit. I think they were competitive. I mean, like I said, amongst all teams that we've named, the Lions have shown night and day progression. You know what I'm saying? At least for the last 2-3 years, and every year it looked like it has improved. And like I said, they've been down and out a little bit, but they made it as far. They made it further with less stuff than some teams that you would have thought would have been there. You know what I mean? So good on the Lions. Big up Detroit.
You know, for me, it's simple. You got the Eagles who are the winning champs, and I feel like they haven't lost anything. They're arguably the best team going into next season. We can argue Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts all day, every day, but I think June stated best. When rubber met the road and when it came down to it, Jalen Hurts in both Super Bowls outperformed Patrick Mahomes at the quarterback position. Okay. The first Super Bowl, his defense gave up more points than they needed to. The second Super Bowl, defense didn't give up the points, and they put Mahomes down every time. Lions were injuries away from probably going into the NFC Championship and then going to the Super Bowl. The Chiefs, well, you got to give them credit. They won 3 out of the last 5 or 6 years. Commanders surprised everybody by going to the NFC Championship, and we hoping they just get better. And the Ravens always finding an add a piece. I think what holds back the Ravens though, is Lamar Jackson. The Lamar Jackson we get in the regular season is not the same Lamar Jackson that we get in the playoffs, and that's what happens. He has the talent, legs, arm strength, teams to surpass Mahomes, Josh Allen, but he doesn't. And what happens is because is him. So I think if he can fix that in the postseason and bring the Lamar Jackson we see in the regular season, then that team could be unstoppable. They could be the next Chiefs winning multiple Super Bowls because we all agree that I would hope we all agree Lamar Jackson is a better overall athlete than Mahomes is. I think in my opinion, Lamar Jackson's arm strength is better. His speed is better. Where he might lack at is accuracy. And that's where you as a quarterback, that's one of the key things we need to have. So that's my choice of picking who I pick. You know, I think.
I have a question.
What's up?
So I understand we all picked the teams that we picked, right? But had we did it the way I did it, I'm only questioning the coaches. So let's say it was just instead of looking at all 3 aspects, would you still have the same teams when we solely was just talking about top 5?
No.
Yeah.
If you told me coaching only, Andy Reid's number 1, Sirianni's number 2, number 3 is probably gonna be Sean McVay. Number 4 is gonna be the brother in the Ravens because I forgot which Harbaugh. I forgot which his first name is. And number 5. That I might go DeMeco Ryans, and here's why, or DeMeco Murray, whatever his name is.
Well, I think it was Ryan.
Yeah, he took the Texans to a whole nother level.
He did.
You know what I'm saying? But we saw Sean McVay last year lose some games in the beginning, but once them receivers came back, it was a wrap. And honestly, they played a cold weather team in the cold weather. If we put that game in SoFi, are we looking at a different outcome? You know what I'm saying? So that's me. I go with consistency at winning. I'm not going to put the Pittsburgh Steelers up there because I don't give
I'm talking about coaching.
Yeah, that's coaching. You got Tomlin.
Okay.
I'm not going to put him up there because I don't give a fuck with you in the regular season. Let's postseason wins. You know what I'm saying? Let's get to the postseason. And he's won 17, 18 years, never had a losing season, but hasn't won a playoff game in the last 6 to 8 years. That's crazy to me. You got arguably one of the greatest defensive players in the league, and he hasn't won a playoff game. When you look at TJ Watt and you look at Aaron Donald, who retired, Aaron Donald is the reason the Rams won that Super Bowl. When Aaron Donald said, "Oh shit, we're about to lose," he tapped his finger and said, "I'm putting this team on my back on defense.
Let's go.
And I'm coming after Joe Burrow every snap. I'm gonna leave it on the field. He's the epitome of what a gladiator or warrior is. I'm gonna die on this field, but we're gonna win." And they won. They won. I can't say that so that's why Sean McVay, I gotta give him credit. He's been to 2 Super Bowls, 1-1. In the time he started coaching. In that time he started coaching, Tomlin's already been coaching, been to 2-1-1 and hasn't been back since I think 2011, 2012.
Yeah, but that's the same I could say about Donald and TJ. O'Du had been playing for years before TJ even came on.
Donald played for 8 years. He
his 8 years was elite.
Yeah, no, he been elite the whole time coming to the field. He retired, I think, at 8 or 10 years. Once he won the Super Bowl, I think he played one more year and he was done. Donald said, look, I had defensive player of the year, I had this, I had that, and I won a ring. I'm out. I'm good. Thank you. And bounced out. And
But that's what I'm saying. He was on longer than TJ.
I don't know. I gotta see. I'm gonna run the numbers now. You might be right though. You might be right. I might be wrong. Hold on. To me, when you call coaching up, hold on.
No, I'm just saying that when you compare it, because you're saying Tomlin has been longer than McVay. So I agree. I don't disagree with you there, but comparing it to those two, I think they're not on they tenure played a part for Aaron Donald. What's his name? Yeah.
So Donald played for 10 years.
And TJ been in for like 4.
Hold on. No, TJ been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just 2 years younger than him.
2 years is a lot. 2 years does.
Yeah, but when you look at McVay's success compared to
Yeah, I agree. I agree. No, I don't disagree.
Like for me, my issue with
I agree to a point. I agree that McVay's success. The thing is, they're about the same. The only difference is Tomlin had tenure compared to McVay. I also feel like the Rams, even for that Super Bowl, they sold their mama kidney. So they put everything,
But let me ask you a question.
Cashed everything in.
Let me ask you
a question. And it works.
Yeah, let me ask you a question though. If you was TJ Watt, would you care they sold the house and the farm, but I got a ring?
No. I told you that last week when we talked. I think it's time for TJ he's on down the road. Because the Ravens, I'm sorry, the Steelers ain't gonna get him what he deserve.
If you take, in my opinion, June, you could chime in on this. If you take bias out as straight podcasters of an NFL sport,
right,
you cannot. When you look at head coaching, quarterback play, running back play, wide receiver play, offensive line, defensive, all that shit. When it boils down to it, I believe in my whole heart, Eagles are number one, even over the Chiefs. And the only reason is,
I agree.
When you start looking at ranking each thing separately, where June can argue this. I'm not. You can argue with your mama. You're not gonna argue with me. Patrick Mahomes is gonna be above Jalen, and only because Patrick Mahomes has the rings and success.
Yeah.
Now we know that come Super Bowl time, Jalen has outplayed Mahomes, but it's a team sport, so we can't go off that only. However, success, MVPs, and all that shit, Mahomes got it.
Yeah, neck and neck, quarterback, Mahomes got it.
Yeah. Then you go wide receiver, Eagles all day.
Eagles got it, yes.
You go tight end. I'm gonna go Chiefs just because Travis Kelce is like a wide receiver in a tight end position.
I think it's balanced.
And I wouldn't argue. I would not argue. I would not. Trust me. I'm not high on Kelce. I think their guys Goddard is more of a tight end but that's just me. Based on what I like as a tight end. Running back, Saquon equates all that. Even when they had, what's our boy that went to the Lions? June. Who's the guy that went to the Lions? Or not Gibbs, not who's the other?
Gibbs. Oh, Gibbs.
The guy before Saquon. The guy before Saquon. Sanders. Swift. Yeah. Swift 8. Swift 8 there. They just didn't use Swift enough. He went over there to the Lions, 8. You take, and then you look at offensive line and defense. The only thing defensively good on the Chiefs is Chris Jones. Other than that, we can argue secondary, middle linebackers and in offensive defensive line. But when it comes down to, if you want to argue it, I mean, if you go position by position, Eagles are still number one in my book, and it's because they don't lose. They haven't. They say what you want about Sirianni, whether he's an Andy Reid or Sirianni knows what to do to get to that next level. So to me, you want to break it down by semantics and realistically take bias out. Eagles gonna at least be the 1 or 2 team. They're gonna be either number 1 or number 2 in certain categories.
Right.
If you average it out, they're gonna be number 1.
Right. I agree with you there, and that's taking the all bias, right?
Yeah.
Even yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't like Sirianni though. I think if I had to do head coach, I'll go Andy over Sirianni. But
Well, I mean,
the only two things I would have went Chiefs would have been quarterback and coach. Everywhere else would have leaned more towards the
like you
Eagles.
said though, tenure matters. Tenure matters. Listen, I'm not. I look. We all know who I think is the greatest coach of all time, and second to that, I have my 1 and 2. But I'm gonna give Andy Reid his credit. He has been winning, even with the Eagles. He might have went to 1 Super Bowl with the Eagles and 4 NFC Championship games. Only went to 1 Super Bowl, but he was always winning. Then he goes over to the Chiefs. It's like, June, and you could chime in if you want. Everybody needs that. Batman has a Robin. You know what I'm saying? That's what that is. You know, Andy Reid didn't win until he had Patrick Mahomes. Motherfucking my man Bill Belichick ain't do shit until Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying? Hell, look at Tomlin. As great as a coach he wins, he ain't won shit since Ben Roethlisberger. You start breaking it down, it's like everybody has that quarterback that's gonna win them the game. I don't think you need superstar wide receivers to win. If you have a true quarterback under center with good coaching, you're gonna win games. You can win Super Bowls. The only time that shit comes into play is about quarterbacks or wide receivers that you have and running backs is when your quarterback can't get you over the hump without that. Now, for Jalen or anybody else, we don't know what that looks like until those receivers leave, and then we see what he performs like after that. We could say that about Patty, that one Super Bowl when he went on the road and beat the Bills, beat the Ravens, and went and won when they had the number 1 drops in the league and they won the game. We said about Brady. We said about some quarterbacks. But we can't say it about all of them. Mm-hmm. But in this aspect, when you break it down, whether you break it down by not position, but offense, defense, special team, and shit like that, I think to me, Eagles come out on top. That's just me, and that's biased out of it. You know what I'm saying? So I got a question though, June and Nikki. We're giving Hurts a lot of credit because he has a ring, right? He has a ring. Would you give Foles the same credit?
No.
Okay.
No.
And why not? I want to hear your take.
I give him because he was there. He won a ring. The next year he came close to going back. And then he left. He was never the starting quarterback. He was the quarterback that took over for Hurts for Wentz when he got hurt and took him to the Super Bowl. And the following year, same thing. He was never the starter, but he was a great backup.
Okay, fair enough. Nikki?
Who was it? Nick Foles? So look, I agree with June. I've said this in the past. I even said it about my quarterback when I really started watching football. What's his name? Blake Bortles.
Bortles, yeah.
Right. I think you have two types of quarterback or two levels. QB1 and QB2. And I think sometimes we have QB2s that you can slide into the QB1 position and manage the success of the team based off of what has been left behind for them. And I think Nick Foles is a solid QB2 quarterback. Like, you have some QB2 quarterbacks that you like, get him off the damn field. Like, he should probably be QB5.
Mason Rudolph.
You get what I'm saying? But I think Nick Foles was a good, based off of Carson Wentz's success already. Nick Foles just had to continue. You get what I'm saying? But I think if from like you gotta remember the following year he went to the Jags, and I'm saying the Jags is elite. That's my team, but Nick Foles was nowhere successful as he was towards the end. Like when you had to put it on Nick Foles' back from start to finish, he couldn't get you where you needed to
Yeah.
be. But so and that's no disrespect to Nick. I think Nick is a phenomenal quarterback, but a phenomenal backup.
Mhm.
Yeah. Where I can say that Jalen is, he leans more on the QB1 category. You know,
Yeah.
now there's different levels of QB1. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying Jalen, for me, this for Nikki, I'm not saying he's top tier QB1. However, I do think he is QB1 material.
I like that. I like that. June?
For which one?
No, in general, just your take on the whole situation.
We're still talking about Nick, right?
Yeah, like no, just yeah, she brought up a good point. You know, he's not maybe QB1 material, but like, do you agree with the take? Like, is
Oh
it
yeah. I thought you're. I don't know. I mean, he went to the Jags, and you seen what happened. Um, he signed that big contract. I mean, she has some valid points. I still believe he's a great QB2. He's a great QB2 that knew the system in Philadelphia, and it just played perfectly for his play and execution. And when he went somewhere else, he didn't have the success that he's had in Philadelphia. But again, it's not far off. Just think, he wasn't a great starter at another team.
I think when it comes down to this, it's what lines up for you and what doesn't line up for you. This is where that belief of what's for you is for you, no one can take it away from you. I think that you guys was heading in a trajectory that season that was amazing. You know, Wentz was playing lights out. He got hurt, and all he had to do, Foles had to do, was come in and manage the game because that defense was good. You know, we thought, I ain't gonna hold you, I thought it was over. I was like, oh shit, Wentz out. This guy's coming in. But remember, Foles went to playoffs as a starting quarterback himself under Chip Kelly. So I think that Foles probably could have had a different career if he would have had more consistency. Like we talked about Baker earlier. You know, everybody wants to throw Baker under the bus, but nobody wants to talk about what Baker went through to be where he's at today. You know what I'm saying? Consistency and not lack thereof. Kind of like we say about Trevor with Jags. You know, it's like with the Jags, you know, he hasn't had consistency at head coach. He is turnover at OC, young guy. How's he developing? He needs a mentor. He needs coaching to develop. You know, no matter how great you are, when you come in the league, you still need some mentoring, some coaching until you get to that level where you can make decisions on your own and alter the play. But until you get there, you need that help. So, you know, to me, Foles could have probably been that, but he did enough to win the Super Bowl that year. He did enough to play good. That team rallied around him. Again, this is a team. It's not just one player. So, you know, I give it credit. I think he's a solid quarterback out the league. I think he'll have his, you know, he's in commercials right now because he beat Brady. You know what I mean? Like he'll get honored at games, or he'll get honored at presentations, because guess what? He did something that not every quarterback could do, which was beat Brady in the Super Bowl. There's only two quarterbacks that did it, and he's one of them. So he will live forever in that. You know what I'm saying? Do you guys have any other topic you want to talk about? Because there was nothing else in the notes. So before I close it out.
So I guess the just to follow up from the Cardi B and Stephon Diggs are shortly lived.
Yeah. I said Frank. That day, what did I say? I said, I bet you before season actually start, they'll be over.
Yeah, and they over.
But funny. Didn't I say it?
You did.
And y'all was like, no, I think the next day, breaking news.
No, I didn't even realize it was over until somebody put it out. And I was like, oh shit, let me go look it up. And I Googled it. But I also saw something from TMZ that says they're still together despite Cardi B erasing stuff off of Instagram. So I don't know
You know,
what's going
Cardi.
on.
Cardi ain't erasing without it having some kind of.
Listen, I also know Cardi got an album coming out, and it's her first album in a lot of years.
In a while, yeah.
Yeah, so she's gonna do what she got to do. Plus, he's the rebound for Cardi. Let's just be honest. It's the rebound for Cardi. You know, Stephon Diggs probably felt he was the luckiest guy in the world, and Cardi's thinking like, you're probably one of many I could have had. Thank you for being here. God bless you. Good night. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. I guess football related, but college football. Real quick, not too long. We could take 5 minutes to discuss it. Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, said that NCAA college football should have a cap, salary cap on NILs. How do you feel about that, June?
I agree.
And why?
I agree. I think that adds to the diva type of mentality that the rookies are going to come into the NFL with. And at the same time, it kind of throws shade for those players that we believe should be drafted a little higher, like the Shador, that he was cut off millions by drafted where he was when we believe that he should have been drafted a lot earlier. So for those reasons is why the capping should be put in place.
Okay, Nikki?
I don't even care. There you go.
Well, I will say this, June. I agree with you.
And let me say this. I don't care because it wasn't a discussion before his son was a conversation. I true, and not even saying it's good or bad. It's just that I would have respected it more if that statement now doesn't only reflect or benefit his child.
Well, I was looking at something different. I didn't even tie Shador to it.
No, I do.
I tied the fact that you have some of these schools that can afford to pay these players to come there and win championships.
Yeah, but it's been like this.
No,
this is not a new thing.
NIL is new. NIL is new. It's like what, 2 to 3 years old? Before they were getting paid, and it shouldn't have been getting paid. It was illegal. Now it's legal. So if I'm competing, like if I'm Colorado, I'm not going to be able to compete against Alabama, LSU, Georgia, Ohio State. They're boosters who can pay the money to bring people there. So I think a cap would even the playing field, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I'm saying before NIL, NFT, right? ABC 1, 2, 3. That was the thing that they were doing. They were recruiting.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So, and not saying that yay or nay. You get what I'm saying? But like most of us, and this is me being fair, right? Most of us will say, well, this shit don't benefit me. Or this that has worked. Now that I'm a stakeholder, this ain't, you know what I'm saying? So I think had he said it prior, you get what I'm saying? Without being a stakeholder, it will carry weight. But because you are on the short end of the stick, potentially, now is let me raise. Same thing, let's throw it to NFL, the tush push. Nobody would have cared before, but now they see this team has a really good success rate and no other team has figured it out. Now let's ban.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
So
are you banning it because it's not a good play, or are you banning it because you can't stop it?
Yeah, you can't stop. You can't, you haven't ripped the benefits of that play. You get what I'm saying? You haven't figured out how to fine tune it so that play will not be a play of yours and you gain the success. So that's how I feel about that, because you gave a perfect example. You can't compete like that with Alabama because they already had it. But if Colorado had it, he wouldn't have said that. He would have been on the other side where it's always been. It is what it is.
I think we argue shit when, like you said, if it pertains to us, we do it. If we don't, we let it go.
Yep.
I just think for Prime, You
And not saying it's not a legit fight, but I feel like it's only a fight. He's arguing because he's on the other
yeah, no,
thing.
no. I mean, you also think I'm gonna get more people to come here because of who I am. Now my son, Travis Hunter, his other son, Shiloh's gone. Are we gonna have success? And I think people, and also the uncertainty. You remember, there's a lot of reasons why his son didn't get drafted. One of the reasons was they thought they had head coaches scared that if the team didn't perform the first year, the next year they're gone, and his father's coaching.
Right.
So now look at college.
Sometimes some
The same thing.
publicity ain't always
Yeah.
good, you know?
And on the flip side for college, you gotta think, how do I know you're gonna be a good head coach without your son? You can say I've been to 2 programs and changed them, but every program you went to, you had your son. You had Travis Hunter, you had Shiloh. People forget that Travis Hunter was the #1 prospect in the country that changed his position to go to Jackson. Not position, I mean, changed his team the school he was going to go to Jackson State. You know, a lot of people had him going to one of these PWIs and playing. He went to Jackson State and then went to Colorado with him. So it's like, in a sense, it's like, do I take a chance with you? I don't know what you look like without these guys.
You know, I could argue different too. You know, even if you don't look at, and that's the way to look at it, but even if you don't look at the success he had with his children or the boys, he also was an elite player himself. You get what I'm saying? But I think what might be the bigger thing to look, and I think Juno, you just said it about even with all of that, look where Shador fell.
Drew said it.
Yeah, like that's a big thing. And on top of that, it's not even, oh, look where your son, like, one thing for sure, two for certain, Deion has been in that boy's life and molding his football career all his life. You get what I'm saying? Where we could say with Travis, you know, he might have added to it at a later year, but you always, and even though you might have added to Travis was gone, second pick.
Yeah.
But the one that you've been molding his entire life, you know, he fell. But I think he fell for a lot of different things too. Anyway, like you said.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with his play.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with him. Now, remember, I also questioned his play too, that when he played dogs, his numbers weren't as elite. And then when he played rinky-dink, he was top notch.
I think when it came down to Shador, people hated. And when they hate, when I mean hate, is one of those things where it was like, you're Deion Sanders' son. You came in here cocky. You know, not to get too much into it. I don't want to go over an hour, but it's a topic that maybe we should have had a more deeper discussion. We really talked about it. I didn't want to retouch it, but we're here now. Fuck it. I'm gonna say it. Listen, people, these owners, these head coaches don't want you coming in there cocky if you're a certain race. Let's just be honest. And I'm gonna be honest. Listen, Baker Mayfield, who June brought up, walked in there, did his talked his shit, combine and all, and then, I love it. He's aggressive. He believes in himself. He's confident. He's cocky. That's what we want. Shador comes in there and does it. Oh, wow, that's too confident. We don't know. And you know what? We know what it is. The problem is these head coaches and these owners don't know if he loves the game as much as he should love the game because he's paid. He's money. He has money. He comes from money. He is money. He's a legacy kid. So is he going to come and give me 100% when he drives a Rolls Royce already? Is he going to give me 100% when he has a Rolex or a Patek on his wrist? Is he going to give me 100% when his dad is arguably the greatest?
I think the number one is the dad.
Yeah, 2-time Super Bowl champ and a Hall of Famer and a great coach. Is he going to give me what he...
And a big mouth.
Yeah, and a big mouth. Remember, people forget Deion Sanders himself. When the Giants gave him the playbook and said, "Hey, I need you to say this playbook," he said, "What position? What number you picking?" They said, "Whatever number. I'm not going to be that far down. I'm going before that. I'm not reading it." They don't like that. They don't. Let's be honest. They don't like that. They don't like that. You can call it. You can spin it racial. You can spin it whatever. As if I'm a billionaire and I own the team, and you're telling me you're not even gonna read my playbook because you're not gonna be there. Hey, fuck you. I might have not been able to get you. You know, that phrase, the sins of a father, is a real phrase. Because Dion, you are a Hall of Famer. You are, it's crazy how
You made it.
yeah, they're considering, he's even said it. They need to have levels to the Hall of Fame because they let anybody in. And people are saying, you're right. Oh shit, you're a legendary player. This cornerback ain't legendary, but you are, right? So I couldn't do nothing to you. But guess what I can do something to?
Right. Come on now, because this is what humans do.
I'm going to be honest. It was one day they broke into my truck when I first moved in here. And I went to these two, I'm not going to say crackheads, but they were not the favorite persons. And I talked my shit. And I said, touch my car again and we're going to have problems.
Right.
And I thought about it. Frank, you go to work at 5 a.m. Your kids are catching the bus at 8 a.m. You're not home. So they might not be able to touch you, but guess who they can touch?
Right. And by the time you retaliate, you got a child.
Right.
And
So when you think about that, and I know this is, some people might, well, damn, Frank, that's kind of drastic. But no, it's if you relate it, it's kind of similar. I couldn't do shit to Dion. But guess what? Your son, we going to humble him. You're going to fall to the 5th round. We're going to cost you $40 million. So I think when it comes down to it, yes, the NIL thing, he's speaking out because he's on the shorter end of the stick. I believe it. And he also has a point. I think it does matter, right? If you want to be competitive in a sport, you got to put a cap to it because you're not going to compete against the Alabamas, the Georgias, the LSUs, the Notre Dames, the Ohio States, the Michigans, the people that have people that are willing to put millions into a school because they want to win championships. You're just not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's not happening. Imagine if football didn't have a cap or they had luxury tax like NBA and baseball. Imagine that. The Cowboys will be loading up right now because they can pay the tax.
But everybody likes the fucking Dallas Cowboys.
It's America's team. They're America's
team. So crazy.
It's crazy as hell.
America's team, y'all. America's team. This is what it is. America's team. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you.
It's very shocking.
It's we're blinded. We're stuck in the past. We're stuck in the past. A lot of society is stuck in an era where things were one way when they're not that way no more. Cowboys didn't win a Super Bowl in 30 years. But people, hey, every season the Cowboys are winning the Super Bowl. Every season. All right. Share, like, subscribe. That's the play call.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, let us know what we did good, what we didn't do good. 2 episodes, Saturday recording again. Stay tuned, stay by, and thank you for supporting us. Have a good night.
Bye.